In the Indian administration, a single project can stall for years, buried under a mountain of files awaiting specific signatures that never arrive. This isn't an accident. It is the result of a system built on overlapping procedures designed to delay action. This is the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. It is the architectural center of the Indian state, an organization so massive that it employs millions of civil servants tasked with governing over 1 billion people. Decisions here are scrutinized by 5 powerful institutions called the 5 Cs. These include the Central Bureau of Investigation, Central Vigilance Commission, and Comptroller and Auditor General. While providing oversight, their presence often creates fear of making any choice at all. In this environment, an officer who attempts a difficult reform risks a career-ending investigation. However, an officer who does nothing remains perfectly safe. This incentive structure makes stagnant paperwork the default state of governance. Anil Swarup spent 38 years in the Indian Administrative Service, refusing to accept that stagnation. In his memoir, Not Just a Civil Servant, he details how he worked within these constraints to deliver results that most bureaucrats thought were impossible. This is Nandan Nilekani, the tech visionary behind Aadhaar, India's massive biometric ID project. Nilekani wrote the foreword to Swarup's book, validating it as a credible guide for anyone trying to drive change within a rigid hierarchy. This narrative provides a blueprint for survival. It shows how specific technical innovations can bypass the systemic blocks that usually stop progress. Early in his career, Swarup worked in the Uttar Pradesh cadre, navigating national flashpoints like the 1992 Babri Masjid demolition shown here. He witnessed firsthand how political instability can paralyze local administration. When an officer pushes for transparency against political interests, the system often responds with a punishment posting. They are transferred to obscure departments like labor welfare or state investment corporations, intended to be dead ends for their careers. Swarup viewed these exiles differently. He treated them as laboratories. Instead of waiting for a better posting, he looked for ways to fix the specific agency he had been given. He implemented digital tracking for labor welfare funds and streamlined investment processes. By replacing human discretion with automated systems, he showed that even the smallest department could be made efficient and corruption-proof. These early successes proved a vital point. An officer's ability to create change is determined by the specific systems they build, not by how prestigious their office is. This experience prepared him for the Colgate scandal. As coal secretary, Swarup took over an industry in total crisis, where the arbitrary allocation of coal blocks had led to massive corruption and a national energy shortage. Behind the headlines were workers like these, laboring in an industry controlled by local mafias. The corruption at the top meant that coal wasn't reaching the power plants, and the country was facing constant blackouts. The fix required removing the human element entirely. Swarup replaced private, discretionary meetings with a live, transparent digital auction. This automation acted as a barrier, making it impossible for politicians to favor companies or officials to accept bribes. The impact is visible in this aerial shot. Under the new system, coal production surged. India moved from a nation desperate for energy to one with a surplus of coal ready for its power plants. This success demonstrated that structural innovation, designing systems that don't allow for corruption, is more effective than simply relying on an individual's personal bravery. Swarup applied this same logic to the health sector. By implementing the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, or RSBY, he used digital insurance cards to ensure that healthcare funds actually reached families living below the poverty line, rather than being diverted by middlemen. He took the same fight to the education sector as HRD secretary. By setting rigorous, transparent standards for schools and using data to track teacher attendance and student performance, he pushed back against the education mafias that had profited from poor standards. Whether managing coal mines, digital insurance cards, or classroom standards, the method always remained the same. He identified where the human bottlenecks were and replaced them with transparent, digital processes that served the public. While the 5 Cs remain a challenge for any bureaucrat, Swarup argues that they are not insurmountable. He found that by maintaining strict political neutrality and keeping every decision public, an officer can protect themselves from investigation. This is the Supreme Court of India. Swarup's career shows that the legal system becomes a powerful ally when an administrator's choices are backed by clear data and a recorded, transparent process. The Indian administrative system is flawed and often slow, but Sarup's journey proves that the gridlock can be broken by individuals who have the technical skill and the resilience to stay the course. For thousands of students preparing for the UPSC exams, this story is a practical field manual. It shifts the focus from the prestige of the rank to the actual work of building better systems for the country. India's progress depends on practical leaders who use logic and transparency to navigate the gridlock, proving that no one has to be just another bureaucrat. If you want to see more breakdowns of how effective leaders fix complex systems, subscribe and join us for the next video.